Good morning. It's Anand here from Osho, Ireland, and today I'm going to share the 90-second meditative technique from the Osho Book of Secrets. I've talked before previously that Osho groups these into groups of different techniques. And interestingly, the last two techniques we did were about creating the self, and he categorizes these next two techniques as destroy the limits. I wanted to share that with you. For those of you who have the Book of Secrets, it's really worthwhile reading what he shares in advance of each of these techniques, and then about the techniques themselves. I mean, in these 15-20 minutes that I share with you each Sunday, I can give you a taste of them. It's a starting point, but if you get the book itself with the videos, you can really go deep with this, whichever technique appeals to you. So this one, the instructions are: put mind stuff in such inexpressible fineness above, below, and in the heart. So I'll just read that again. Put mind stuff in such inexpressible fineness above, below, and in your heart. So what does this mean? Osho says three things. First, if knowledge is important, then the head is the center. If childlike innocence is important, then the heart is the center. The child lives in the heart, we live in the head. The child feels, we think. Even when we say that we feel, we think that we feel. Thinking becomes primary for us, feeling becomes secondary. Thinking is the tool for science, feeling is the tool for religion. And this technique is to bring us into the religious, the mysterious. And when I use the word religious, I'm not indicating a specific religion or religious path. Religiousness for me, and Osho shares this, and it's something I felt long before I discovered Osho, is the mysterious. And I love this technique. I love what Osho shares in this because I've always felt this mysteriousness of existence, of something that I can't name and that I can't put words to. And Osho talks about this. So this technique, for us, we're going to move from our head to our heart. So just to help you understand a little more, Osho explains what the word mind stuff means, and says that it's a poor word. He said it's not a good translation of the original Sanskrit word chit, chit, if you're not familiar with it, but chit it's called. But he says English has no other equivalent. So chit, or mind stuff, he compares it with the sky. So we have clouds, and they're floating along, they're thoughts. And behind the clouds is the sky, it's the pure consciousness. So if we think of our mind, it's that pure sky, mind stuff. And then the thoughts are what float along. And this technique is to be aware of when our mind stuff is empty, where there's no thought. This can be for a second or 2 seconds or 5 seconds, or it can go on longer, but it's to be deeply alert to those silent moments in your mind. Because Osho says about the word inexpressible, if there's a thought, that can be expressed. If there's no thought, it's inexpressible. So we're looking in this technique to be alert for the moments in our consciousness where there's no thought. And when that happens, we go into our heart. So for me, what I want to do, and if you want to try this together with me, is when we close our eyes, is to bring our attention to our heart and to bring ourselves into a feeling space. And it's very hard for me to describe to you what is a feeling space because I don't know how to express it. But it's something to do with emptying the mind. It's something to do with moving from the head to the heart. And it's something to do with allowing the heart to speak its language. But we don't tend to hear it normally. We don't allow it, because if we allow it, then we disappear. Now, there's a lot that Osho talks about in this technique, but I want to close on this thing before we do the technique together. He talks about, sorry, excuse me, I have a runny nose today. He says, this technique says don't think of the ego, just move from the head to the heart and the ego will disappear. The ego is a projection of the head. Don't fight with it. You can go on fighting for lives together, but if you remain in the head, you cannot win. Just change the standpoint. Just move from the head to a different standpoint, to a deeper standpoint of the being, and the whole thing changes because now you can look from a different perspective. From the heart there is no ego. Because of this, we have become afraid of the heart. We never allow it to have its own way. We always interfere with it. We always bring mind into it. We try to control the heart through the mind because we have become afraid. If you move to the heart, you lose yourself, and this losing is just like death. Hence the incapacity to love, hence the fear of falling in love, because you lose yourself. You are not in control. Something greater than you grips you and takes possession. Then you are not on sure ground and you don't know where you are moving. So I encourage you today and in the coming days and weeks and months and moments throughout the day, let your heart have its way. Let your heart speak. Close your eyes and drop into the heart and see where it takes you. Allow it to take you. And when this ends, I'll ring some bells, 3 bells, and see you then. See you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Have a nice day.